Hello everyone, I'm Sam. Let's continue to talk about case 7. And there's two ways to do data reading with no lock. And the first one is query level with query hint, they call it with no lock. Second one is database level with DB option. They call the DB option is read committed snap on. So let's go to the example. First, we can see the database with continuous performance on the SQL Server. And we have a table called employee. So let's run this query, get data, select data from the table. And then we run the splog to check 79. 79, they are using page lock. We can see very clearly, we can see page lock. So if we don't want block other person, now we use the query hint. They call it with no lock. Let's run again. You see that row is disappearing, and it's tab and db, but that's not really block on the pager on the table. So anybody else can do update and insert whatever and on the table. Okay, we just run again, check again. Without query hint, we see page lock. They log the page by page, and nobody else can do update on the table once they are reading the page. With no lock, no page lock, and you can do update, you can do insert, you can operate on the pages, any pages. But this is a query level. Sometimes we cannot change the query. For example, you purchase an application from some vendor, and the query already in the application. It's very hard to change because there are a lot of query you need to add query hint, but that's not possible sometimes. How can we continue use with no lock strategy for all data reading? So that's option in the database level we called. Yeah, let's go to the database property. Yeah, we can see here we have DB option. We call is read committed snap on. What does that mean? It means the query they only read from the snapshot. Where is the snapshot located? It's in the TempDB. It will use TempDB to hold the snapshot. So when the user runs the select statement, they will go to the snapshots. They will not block the table. So let's change this to true. Okay. So this is true. Let's change again. Check again. It's true. Let's run this with no lock first. 73. Okay. With no lock, that means you can continue use the query hint. Right? Let's just run select statement from the table without the query hint. You see, still no lock on the page level. So that means with no lock hint or without this query hint, they will not apply the page level lock on the table because we set up this like is they call the DB option is read committed snapshot on. But what's the problem with this DB option? If we set the is read committed snap on, they will use a lot of space on the temp DB. So if you have a lot of big report, for example, we run complicated query, generates millions of rows and hundreds of rows, then they will use a lot of temp DB. So you have to make sure you have enough space on the disk for TempDB to autogrow. So that's the only problem and for this DB option. So thank you for watching, and it's for today. See you next time.